वेलकम बैक दोस्तों, कैसे हो आप सब? अच्छे हो ना सब? ये वैसे 2023 की लास्ट वीडियो है। होपफुली आप सबका 2023 बढ़िया रहा होगा। 2024 में और बढ़िया अच्छे से मार्च करेंगे और बढ़िया परफॉर्म करेंगे। और आपको पता होगा कि पिछली वीडियो में हमने देखा था कि काफी सारे ऑस्ट्रेलिया के कार इन्फ्लुएंसर्स इंडिया आए थे महिंद्रा की रिसर्च वैली में बढ़िया बढ़िया इनकी टेक्नोलॉजी को एक्सपीरियंस करने के लिए। और अब इन सारे लोगों ने हमारे इंडिया की थार को टेस्ट करा है ऑफ रोडिंग ऑब्स्टिकल्स में, देखने के लिए कि ये गाड़ी कैसा परफॉर्म करती है। देखते हैं भाई इनका क्या इनपुट आता है। और भाई महिंद्रा ने थोड़ा बहुत झूठ भी बोल दिया इनको, मैं आपको बताऊंगा क्या झूठ बोला है। उससे पहले सब्सक्राइब कर लो और एक रियल अरिस्टोक्रेट बन जाओ। 248 के सब्सक्राइबर हो गए, 300 की करते जल्दी से जल्दी कर लो भाई। तो भाई मैंने थोड़ी बहुत वीडियो देख ली, सच बोलूंगा आप। तो पहले हम ये वाला रिव्यू देखते हैं। महिंद्रा थार ऑफ रोडिंग 2023, इज दिस चीपर जीप लुक लाइक कमिंग टू ऑस्ट्रेलिया। यार एक तो ना इस गाड़ी की फॉरेन मार्केट्स में आइडेंटिटी एक जीप नॉक ऑफ या फिर एक जीप लुक लाइक के नाम पे बनी हुई है, जो कि थोड़ी खराब ही है यार ऑब्वियसली। सबसे पहले भाई महिंद्रा थार स्टार्टिंग से इंट्रोडक्शन है इनका।
This is the Mahindra Thar, and I have both good news and bad news. But you're going to have to wait to the end of the film to find out what that is.
ओहो,
Very good reason for that. Years ago, I had a friend back in the UK who had a Mahindra Thar, and I remember thinking that looks an awful lot like a Willys Jeep. Well, actually, back in the 50s, Mahindra acquired the license to build Willys Jeeps, but called them Mahindras. And that is a family resemblance that has stuck over the years. So actually, there's a bit of a quandary here. Does the Mahindra Thar look like a Willys Jeep, or does the Willys Jeep and Jeep Wrangler look like the Mahindra Thar? Either way, I'm at the...
I think so the Mahindra Thar looks like the Jeep because पहले अगर आप देखें जो थार है और जो जीप रैंगलर उनकी लुक्स काफ़ी कुछ डिफरेंट थी। पर जब से थार नई वाली आई है तो लुक्स काफ़ी कुछ सिमिलर हो गई है, ग्रिल की शेप, साइज, लेंथ, व्हील्स वगैरह। तो तभी भाई जीप वाले भी चिढ़ते हैं भाई, उनकी पूरी कॉपी बना दी, उनके पास पेटेंट्स है और तभी महिंद्रा इस गाड़ी को बाहर बेच नहीं पा रहे।
At Mahindra's SUV proving track about an hour out of Chennai in India, and I can say the early impressions are pretty good actually.
बोला भाई, एक्सीलेंट नहीं बोला, थोड़ी दिक्कत लग रही है भाई साहब को।
Pretty good actually. Well, that is when I can see where I'm going.
Pretty good बोला भाई, एक्सीलेंट नहीं बोला। चलो कोई नहीं यार, होता है, थोड़ी थोड़ी दिक्कत तो आएगी।
I'm not actually sure where I'm going. This track is brutal. We've spent the day here in XUV 700s and also a bit of time in a Scorpio N, and I can say it's one of the most brutal, unforgiving proving grounds I've ever spent in a four-wheel drive.
ब्रूटल तो है वैसे अगर आप देखें, ऐसा नहीं है कि महिंद्रा ने बस थोड़े रेत वगैरह ऊपर नीचे कर दी, बना दिया बड़े ऑफ रोडिंग ऑब्स्टिकल। इसमें आपको डिसेंट डिफरेंट टेरेन्स मिलती है एक्सपीरियंस करने के लिए, जहाँ पे मुश्किल होती है गाड़ी निकालनी। इस पे महिंद्रा को मैं दूंगा।
But this, much like the Jeep Wrangler, is Mahindra's all-road, all-terrain, off-road hero. A two powertrains, a 2-litre petrol or a 2.2 litre turbo diesel, bolted to a choice of 6-speed auto or 6-speed manual gearboxes. It's not fast. It is not refined.
Not fast, not refined. सही बोल रहे हैं वैसे तो, चलो भाई, पर कोई नहीं।
But it is an absolute weapon off-road. Also today we have some of the most spectacular conditions and weather that India can throw at us during the wet season, and is living up to its name today. We've had torrential rain this afternoon, and some of the water crossings are now impassable by anything else in the Mahindra range, but not this. The Jeep Wrangler resemblance continues on the inside as well. Very utilitarian interior. These circular vents, the plastic finishes, the durable hose out interior, all very familiar stuff. And I'm happy to say the performance is decidedly Jeep Wrangler as well.
भाई सब चीज जीप रैंगलर बोले जा रहे हैं यार। इस गाड़ी की खुद की भी एक आइडेंटिटी है, महिंद्रा थार बोलो, जीप रैंगलर कर जा रहे हो।
Oh my god, slippery conditions, manual gearbox, idiot at the wheel, and it is doing heroic things. Complex systems to help me out here. It is just man and machine, or coward and machine. Everything about this car is appealing to the off-road enthusiast, including the price. In India, this vehicle costs the equivalent of about 20.
कितना लिखा हुआ है? 6.6 लीटर पर 100 किलोमीटर, तो मतलब 15 की एवरेज क्लेम करे महिंद्रा डीजल में, जो कि आने नहीं वाली ऑब्वियसली। 6 स्पीड मैनुअल में। चलो 6 स्पीड मैनुअल में मेरे ख्याल से फिर भी आ सकती है, स्पेशली ऑस्ट्रेलिया में, क्योंकि वहाँ पे डीजल की क्वालिटी भी ज़्यादा है, ऑक्टेन लेवल ज़्यादा है और ट्रैफिक भी थोड़ा कम है।
$1,000 and depending on the spec you can spend up to about $30,000, so it's an absolute bargain as well. Probably the main reason that in its native country the wait list for one of these is blown out to more than 5 years.
ये देखो, यही मैं झूठ बोल रहा था। महिंद्रा के एग्जीक्यूटिव्स ने इन सारे ऑस्ट्रेलिया के इन्फ्लुएंसर्स को बोला है कि इस गाड़ी पे इंडिया में 5-6 साल की वेटिंग है लिटरली। भाई कितना झूठ बोलोगे भाई, 1 महीने में मिल जाती है गाड़ी। मान लो किसी डीलरशिप्स में ना मिले, 5-6 महीने की वेटिंग हो, 5 साल की वेटिंग भाई इंडिया में किसी गाड़ी में नहीं है। लिटरली पूरा महिंद्रा का स्टॉक खरीद सकते हो आप 5 साल में। 5 साल में इसकी फेस लिफ्ट भी आ जाएगी। तो यार थोड़ी ऐसे हाइप बनाने के लिए महिंद्रा के एग्जीक्यूटिव्स ने झूठ बोल दिया। फिर दोस्तों अब अगला रिव्यू देखते हैं कार सॉस वाले भैया का, जिसमें टाइटल दे रखा है 2024 महिंद्रा थार रिव्यू RIP सुजुकी जिमनी $! It has already done RIP to Suzuki Jimny in India. तो देखते हैं भाई ये क्या कहते हैं।
Guys, behind me is a car that is, well, illegal to buy in Australia. And I'm surrounded by them because I'm at the Mahindra SUV proving track and we're in the off-road course, or should I say extreme off-road course, because this place has some ridiculous off-road obstacles. And I just drove this bad boy through it and I gotta say, it really impressed me. Now,
इसकी भाई ग्रिल साफ कर लो, ग्रिल बड़ी गंदी हो रही है।
If you don't know what I'm talking about, of course you must be living under a rock.
Wait a minute. Who are you?
Because this is the Mahindra Thar, literally one of the most popular vehicles, popular off-roaders or lifestyle vehicles in India. If you think it looks a bit familiar, well, you're probably thinking of the Jeep Wrangler, because both of these cars are based off the World War II Willys, which of course the Jeep Wrangler is based off. Well, this is the Indian version and we got the UK version. So this one has the M-Hawk 130, which is the
Price
or 10 lakh here in India, which is equivalent to just under 20,000 Australian dollars. And 20,000 Australian dollars, you get an absolute crapload in terms of off-road kit. You have one of the most impressive departure and entry angles in the segment, as well as ramp breakover angle. So this spec, the 2.2 litre diesel with four-wheel drive, of course, comes in at just under 1.7 million rupees or 17 lakh, which is the equivalent of 30,000 Australian dollars. Now, you do also have the option for mechanical locking diff. Otherwise, you get a brake locking diff where all wheels are braked. And as you'll see, it is one of the most capable off-roaders on the road, essentially, in India, at a budget price level. What do you think of the Mahindra Thar?
This is the extent of my experience with the Mahindra Thar. I just jumped in it to get out of the rain.
Brilliant. So that's Dan Gardner with his automobile expertise. Look at that. We are properly underwater right now. I reckon that was close to a meter. And the Mahindra Thar just sucks it up and goes, you know what? No worries. Because I'm a cult icon and I can do whatever I please, just like me. And just a bit on the accelerator, and now I just let the clutch take over. In fact, I could probably just accelerate through this part. This is a pretty easy part for the Mahindra Thar, and you can really see the difference in the trail compared to when we did it earlier. It's basically not even visible anymore. It's all water. So I believe we're coming back to train tracks, railway tracks. This is a good test of suspension compliance and how the body remains composed as the weight distributes left and right. As you can see the Thar in front of us. I'm just going to be on the clutch, tiny bit on the accelerator, but I have to wait for the car in front of me. Now this is the challenging section coming up on the next corner. This is where I got kind of stuck in the XUV 700. So we'll see, maybe I can take a better racing line around this corner, because I think I went a little bit too wide in the XUV 700. Was that correct? I went too wide? Yeah.
1 second. Welcome.
Number 6, can you?
So Sahil, fill me in on the gossip. What just happened?
Already the track was, too much of wheel spin
Yeah.
and you can see the weather outside.
Yeah.
It's so raining.
So now someone got stuck.
Yeah, and also the track has been spoiled completely.
All right, that was pretty hairy, that part, and now we're going across a log bridge.
Leave the clutch.
अच्छा भाई पानी तो नहीं आ रहा है ना अंदर से भाई, और पानी पूनी आ गया दिक्कत हो जाएगी।
Leave the clutch.
Yeah, leave the clutch and a little bit of accelerator.
Yeah. There we go. Come on, Mahindra Thar. Come on. Yes. Look at that. Gee whiz. Mahindra Thar, you are an absolute.
ये मेरे ख्याल से स्टॉक फुटेज है, क्योंकि ये देखो ये अलग बंदा है कोई जो अंदर बैठा हुआ है, वो रेड शर्ट में, ये वाइट शर्ट है, तो स्टॉक फुटेज ही है ये मेरे
You're
ख्याल
my
से।
hero, frankly. We're going to go over the smaller articulations. See how the Thar compares to
ये
the
स्टॉक फुटेज है, अगर आपको पता है ये भी, क्योंकि पिछली वाली वीडियो
Okay,
में
I'll
भी
use the clutch
एग्जैक्टली आई
here.
थी।
I'll accelerate and then clutch.
कुछ बढ़िया सा दिखाओ यार।
We've almost made it.
Just look at John.
This is pure joy. Oh. All right, we never talk of this again. Now this is proper off-roading. I don't care what anyone says. I actually like it better when it's raining. Makes you really feel like you're out in the thick of it, in the middle of nowhere, and that's exactly what this car is meant for. Now, fun fact, Mahindra wanted to bring this into Australia, but Jeep blocked them because it looks too similar to the Jeep Wrangler. So
Yes,
unless Mahindra completely redesigns the Thar, which would defeat the purpose of the car, they can't bring it into Australia. However, they are developing a 5-door variant that should come out sometime next year, 2024,
पता है क्या
in
5
India.
थार के बारे
I'm
में
going to take it very slow.
हर एक बंदे को पता
Just a
ऑस्ट्रेलिया
little
तक नहीं पता
accelerator
लोगों
and now clutch. Uh-oh.
को फंस गई भाई फंस गई
Ah,
So.
wait, the whole
अच्छा ये पूरे
whole way I
ट्रैक
had
में
the
भाई
handbrake on.
हैंड ब्रेक ऑन करके चला रहे थे भाई ओ माय गॉड
Are you kidding me?
Come back.
so
come
bad.
Back, come back.
What an absolute rock crawler. Almost no one drives manual in Australia anymore. Almost no one. I would say maybe 5-10% less.
But to be honest, we love manual.
अच्छा वी लव मैनुअल नो वी डोंट हैव अ बजट टू बाय ऑटोमेटिक से द ट्रुथ और कोई रिव्यू दिखाओ भाई बढ़िया सा ये देखते हैं भाई ये मैंने देखा हुआ है वैसे थोड़ा बहुत पहले ही
Experience with Mahindra, I travelled to India as a guest of the brand where we visited the Mahindra SUV proving track about 2 hours outside of Chennai. Seeing what the roads were like outside the gates made the test tracks here seem surreal. And this new generation Thar was launched in 2020 to celebrate the brand's 75th anniversary. One thing I'm noticing straight away is that this car has a very different steering feel to the Scorpio, which I drove on these tracks.
You have to be fast.
Okay.
Stop.
ओह फंस गई भाई ओ माय गॉड वाओ 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 सो बैड
Yeah, stop.
Now fast.
वो निकल गई सॉरी
Something, guys. Low speed maneuvers. It's got a bit more heft to it, and also look, feels like a much more purpose built vehicle. It is made
Purpose-built
for
अच्छी बात है।
off-roading. It isn't as composed or as comfortable, nor is the steering as light and direct when it comes to quick low speed maneuvers. It's got a bit more heft to it, and also look, it isn't as
to it not that direct not
comfortable. This is
comfortable
just
दिक्कतें तो है भाई थार
doing
में
a little bit more than I did in the Scorpio, which I think is a tick to the Scorpio, right? I
Scorpio
did
is
have a
better,
few
he's
issues
saying.
with the controls of the car, namely the throttle response, which for the rev-happy turbo
यार
petrol
महिंद्रा के
engine
साथ
made it
इंडियन
harder
गाड़ियों
to
के साथ
modulate
दिक्कतें
your
कुछ ना कुछ
speed,
आई जाती है
even
लिटरली
in
टेस्ट
low
वाली गाड़ियों में
range.
भी आ गई है मेरा दोस्तों आज की वीडियो में आप बताना भाई आपको कैसी लगी महिंद्रा थार के ऑस्ट्रेलियन रिव्यूज अगर लॉन्च होती है भाई महिंद्रा के लिए काफ़ी अच्छा है पर थोड़े लीगल चीज़ें सही करनी पड़ेगी और ये था आज की वीडियो में अगर आपको पसंद है लाइक शेयर सब्सक्राइब कर देना और हैप्पी न्यू ईयर